Hi, this is Joe Kwan, the Connection Counselor, and here we are with another episode of Executive Tune-Up. What would you say is the number one fear most people have? And it comes in a lot of surveys even before death. What could it be? What could be more scary than death? Well, a lot of people say public speaking. And I know a lot of people feel that way. And in addition, even people who don't, it can actually become difficult to deliver an effective public speaking performance. So public speaking is one of my favorite topics to talk about along with executive presence. So today we're going to give you some simple and easy tips. One, to overcome your fear of public speaking, and two, how to give a much more effective public speaking performance. So today we're going to talk about how to speak like a champ. Maybe you've had a great opportunity. Someone has asked you to speak at a conference. Your boss has asked you to present in front of a committee or in front of your peers. And you're really excited, but at the same time, you're excited, like nauseous excited, because you're not really good at public speaking and it's not something you do well. Maybe you're good at speaking in front of smaller groups or one-on-one, but when you think about that sea of eyeballs staring back at you, you really excuse me, I need to go. You really are not looking forward to that. So let's stop and think about this for a second. Why is it that so many people are afraid of public speaking? What could make it more fearful to some people than death? And the way I like to think about this is when you're up there and you're panicking, what are the different thoughts that are going through your mind? So take a second and just imagine yourself. You're up there, you're public speaking, you don't know what to do with your hands, you're fidgeting, everyone's staring back at you. What are the thoughts that are going through your mind? Right? For a lot of people, there are thoughts like, oh, I'm going to make a fool out of myself, or I'm going to be so stupid, or I'm going to forget what to say, or I'm going to embarrass myself. What do you notice is common in all those thoughts or sentences? The word I'm, right? The focus is constantly on yourself and in a way your ego, right? How other people are going to view you and think about you. And in a way, almost you feel like you're going to die, like you're going to be destroyed because your image of yourself or how you perceive others see you is going to be destroyed by a poor public speaking performance. So what I found is this is really at the root of most people's public speaking anxiety. So let's think about this for a second. If the disease is thinking so much about yourself and the impact on yourself, what's the opposite of that and what could be a cure? Right? What I find is whenever, and I still get nervous about public speaking, I get nervous before I do these videos sometimes as well, or even when I'm speaking live, is to think about what the audience needs, right? What this performance is going to give is how it's going to help and how you're going to serve the audience. Because when you take the focus off of yourself and onto others, it really drives that fear away. And the example I like to use is, if you're in some dire situation and it's very dangerous, right? Either there's a storm or, you're in the middle of some sort of horrible, bank robbery or something, and you're just afraid for yourself. That's very different than if you have a more vulnerable person or someone that you care about and you're really trying to think about protecting them. When you move the focus off of yourself to others, then it tends to make the fear go away. So it can be the same thing in public speaking. You don't have to panic, and the panic tends to go away if you take the focus on the impact to you and more the positive impact you can give to other people. Just don't get trapped into thinking, oh no, what if I do a bad job for these folks? But try that next time. I think it works a lot better than picturing the audience naked. I never really understood how that's supposed to help, but give it a try and let me know in feedback if that works for you. It works like a charm for me, whether I'm speaking to 5 people or 500 people, it always works like a charm. So I also promised I'm going to share with you a tip on how to really improve your public speaking performance. So I'm not going to give you the typical tips like, making eye contact or, how to move your hands or your voice or different things like that. Those are all good and important, and I can cover those in a different video. The one thing I wanted to cover today, and so many people overlook this, and it's so easily remedied, is this idea of practice and how you practice for a public speaking performance. Now, think about what you might do typically, let's say in a meeting scenario, right? You spend like 80 or 90% of your time working on slides and heaven forbid, like these crazy transitions, and you don't spend a lot of time actually delivering the performance, giving the performance, speaking it out loud. So the number one tip I can give to folks to really improve your public speaking performance is to actually give it before you give it. And I'm not talking about reading the slides or reviewing it. I'm talking about actually standing up as if you're giving it, saying all the words out loud, just like I'm speaking out loud to you right now. Just imagine the camera's off and I'm not actually recording this, right? And go through from the beginning to the middle to the end. And if you want, another useful tip can be to record it and play it back for yourself to see where things could be smoother or where you're fidgeting or have some, strange habits. But the main thing is not about being perfect, but it's about actually going through the actual process of doing it. And the more you practice, the more natural you'll get, the more easily you'll remember your main points, and the better you will perform. And the last tip I want to give you related to practice is, to the extent you can, try to practice in a very similar venue or vein as the final one that you're giving, right? So if you are going to be presenting in the morning, try to practice in the morning because your body feels a different way. The light may affect you a different way. If you're going to present in a huge room, maybe you can't get access to that room before the day of, but try to get access the night before, or find an auditorium or a classroom that simulates that largeness of room and try practicing it from the stage there, because it really makes a difference when you're in a specific context and environment, how you're going to react, how you're going to respond, how you're going to feel. And what you don't want is you don't want to experience something different for the very first time that you're delivering that important public speaking performance. So number one, in terms of fear, stop thinking about yourself and your own ego and the impact on you when you're scared. Instead, transfer that thought to how you can help others and how your speaking will improve their lives. Second, the number one tip to really deliver your best performance is to practice, and to practice in a realistic and a simulated way that is so similar to what you're actually going to deliver. If you follow through on these two tips, I think you'll have a much better public speaking performance. Well, thanks for tuning in to Executive Presence Tune-Up. My name is Joe Kwan, the Connection Counselor. Remember, to do your best, you have to be at your best. So tune in to Tune Up.